right, hey everybody, this is Breeze Toys. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to get set up here. Let me make sure everything is working. This is my toy talk. I missed it last week, so I'm doing one early this week. Sorry, I forgot to grab the microphone. So give me 1 second. Just trying to get set up. I got some new equipment. Let me plug this in real quick. And then let me share the link to Twitter real quick. Link. See if we can get some people watching. I had to set up the live chat, so you have to be a subscriber, and you have to wait a minute in between tweets or chats. The reason why I did this is because I'm a transgender woman. In my last time I tried to go live, I got a lot of bigots in the stream. So, all right, we are live. So let me go ahead and pull up my production sheet so I know what we're talking about. Let's see. All right, so let me start off. Whoops, my microphone went out. Hello, can you hear me? There we go. I think it came unplugged. There we go. Should be working now. All right. Hi, if you are watching, thank you for coming to my stream. There goes my mic again. Holy shit. Hello? There we go. God damn it. Sorry, technical difficulties. So, just a quick reminder, this is just sort of a just a toy talk show. I do some an update on what I've been playing with recently or collecting, what I'm looking for next in my collection, some toy news and rumors, and then I got some topics. Forgotten toy lines. I got a segment on eBay tips, my thoughts on generic soldier toys, the difference between action figures and figurines, and where I'm at right now currently with Funko Pops. So let's go ahead and start with, like I do, what I have gotten recently or been playing with recently. So last week I did some Captain Power toy reviews because I started getting into the Captain Power toy line, and it's an interesting toy line. I never knew existed. I never knew anything about it before. So after watching a Toy Galaxy or Secret Galaxy, whatever he's called now, video on it, I thought, I think I'll check it out. So that's one thing I've been doing. Also, I've been expanding my D&D books collection. Right now, I'm focusing on AD&D, so I'm trying to buy some first edition and second edition modules, campaign settings, rule books, and some of the supplements and stuff. I have a very comprehensive list of all of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff that I want, including the advanced Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So that's one thing I'm working on. And I also bought some horror comics last week. I went on eBay and just bought a bunch of them, some graphic novels and such, because I wanted to expand my horror comics collection. As far as what I'm looking for next, really, I want to focus on... The stupid microphone keeps cutting out. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello. There we go. Whoa. All right. Um, so what I'm looking at right now is expanding my Generation 2 and my Robots in Disguise 2001 Car Robots collection. I'm also looking for some weird, obscure sci-fi and space robot figures from the 70s through to the 90s. So I'm looking for stuff that's less mainstream. And I'm still in the market for fantasy and medieval action figures. So I haven't bought anything recently. There's a reason for that I don't want to get into here, but I have been looking at some of those. So, Toy Topics, news and rumors. Let's start with that. I have a few. So, I got some articles open. So, let me go ahead and read through these. This first one comes from Twitter. Funko Pop News tweeted that the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl 4-pack um, is now available. This includes 4 of the players from the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl lineup. Obviously, Mahomes is the one most people are going to want. If you're a Swiftie, you might be interested in that Travis Kelce figurine. But those are available right now. Go Chiefs. I'm a Chiefs fan. Spoilers or whatever. Anyways, first story I have is only kind of sort of tangentially news related, toy related, excuse me. This is Toy News International, and it's from a few days ago, and it says Paramount Plus reveals a first look at the all new original animated series Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now there is a trailer, which I'm not going to watch because I don't do that for this channel, but it looks like a similar animation style to Rise of the TMNT. Um, I guess I could watch the trailer. Let's go ahead and click on it. Yeah, it looks like a similar animation style to Rise, but also reminiscent of Mutant Mayhem, which just came out. I was not a fan of the Mutant Mayhem animation style, so this looks a little bit better. All right, let's get past the Mutant Mayhem commercial. That was it. Nah, that was a very brief trailer. That didn't reveal anything. All right. Next article comes from Fwoosh, FWOOSH, .com. And it basically says Hasbro's G.I. Joe classified 60th anniversary action figure, Sailor Recon Diver, is a new classified figure that is going to be a throwback to the 60s era G.I. Joe. So this isn't a character from a real American hero. This is an original, I believe, figure based on the original, or at least the original line. So there's plenty of pictures there if you want to go to thefoosh.com or find them elsewhere. So I think that's interesting. Hasbro every once in a while tries to acknowledge that G.I. Joe used to be a Vietnam soldier. All right, coming from Action Figure Insider, but I saw this article on other websites, but this is the one I'm reading. This is just a press release. Hasbro celebrating the 40th anniversary of Transformers. We got a lot of cool stuff. Looks like they're going to be doing some collaborations. It looks like there might be a new animated show maybe coming. We got a lot of new toys and comic stuff. Looks like there's a music from the original animated series. An album that will include tracks from the cartoon. That's interesting. Plenty of t-shirts, merchandise. A revamp of the Ghostbusters Ecto Wand toy. That looks interesting. I have Ectotron somewhere. Looks like there's some stuff coming from Funko. Transformers Cross Pop. Okay. Super 7. All right. Nothing interesting. Moving on. This is a bit of sad news. Unfortunately, on February 5th, it was reported by Cybertron.com that Jose Delbo, comic artist from the original Transformers comic book, has passed away. So it looks like he was 90 years old, and he worked on 25 issues of the original Marvel comic. And that's pretty much it. It just shows a bunch of images from artwork of his. So that's a sad bit of toy related news. Also coming from Cybertron.com, we have McFarlane Transformers figures revealed. This was reported on February 5th. It says it just basically showcasing some new Transformers products coming from McFarlane Toys. They are 3-inch non-transforming figures, so probably reminiscent of Red or Super 7. I'm going to be honest, just from looking at the pictures, they're fucking ugly. This is not something I'm interested in. All right, moving on. Why did my mic go out? I don't understand. Anyways, next, this is more of a rumor-ish, but HissTank.com is reporting that Hasbro has applied for a brand new Mask Mobile Armored Strike Command animated series trademark. It was filed on January 30th, 2024. Now, according to their little blurb, Hasbro recently renewed a bunch of G.I. Joe animated trademarks. Those did not turn into cartoons. So there's no telling what Hasbro's doing. They could just be protecting their legal intellectual property. So just filing that under rumors. All right. So that's everything as far as news and rumors go. Let's go ahead and get into the topics. Our first topic is another forgotten toy line that I have very little experience with. This is Dino Riders. So this is another one I have very fuzzy memories of as a kid. I believe I knew in the back of my mind that it did exist, but I've never seen any of these live in real life. I've never watched the cartoon if there was one. If there are any video games, I've never played them. I have never seen any of the toys, like I said, in real life, so I know nothing about them. So let's talk a little bit about Dino Riders. This is all I know about it, so this isn't going to be a super big topic. These forgotten toy lines are usually just me discovering things and then filing them away. So they're dinosaurs action figures. I believe they're motorized, and they come with human-esque action figures, maybe some like mutant or I don't know, alien type creatures that can ride the dinosaurs. So I see the figures on eBay all the time. They look like your pretty standard 3 3/4 inch, 4 to 4.5 inch thereabouts action figure. They don't look like they're anything amazing or spectacular. They just look pretty basic. So I've never bought any because I look at the figures and I think, well, without the dinosaur, I have no reason to buy the figure. And the dinosaurs are astronomically expensive. So I guess I would have to look into this to check out the comparisons, the scale comparisons. I suppose you could buy some Jurassic Park or Jurassic World dinosaurs and then just pick up some spare, I don't know, Masters of the Universe Battle Cat saddles to attach to them if those are compatible or not, and then add the figures that way. You're losing the motorized component, but I'm not a big fan of motorized toys anyways. So I'm filing Dino Riders under a toy that I had forgotten that I recently rediscovered, but I'm going to put it back in the past and shuffle it away, and I have no interest in it. I don't have that kind of money, and so, yeah. So eBay tips. I wanted to put together not necessarily a list, but just like some observations I've noticed when searching for action figures on eBay. So the first thing should be obvious, but I want to mention that if you're really looking for something specific, you want to use the eBay filters to narrow it down. Because you can get all kinds of stuff. You can get knockoffs. You can get like foreign product might not be interested in. You could get just yeah, if you just like search action figures on eBay, you're going to get 6 million plus results. So I like to set a handful of filters. I like to start by setting. I always only buy it now. So that's the first filter I set is buy it now. The second filter I set is free shipping. I won't buy anything that doesn't have free shipping. And then to reduce the likelihood of getting Chinese knockoffs, I set the region to US only. It doesn't guarantee you're not going to get knockoffs in the search results, but it reduces the likelihood. It at least eliminates the ones that are upfront about them being knockoffs, because they're not all going to do that. They're not all upstanding, I guess. Some of the other filters I like to set, I'm very specific about my price ranges. I'm also very specific about the years I'm looking for. So I like to go in and check all the years that I'm looking for. And sometimes I'll go in and check like toy line or manufacturer. You just want to play around with the filters. Another thing you want to do is if you're looking for something, like if you're just browsing for action figures and you have no idea what you're looking for, a couple of things you want to do is just type in like action figures or vintage action figures and then put some minuses. So you want to go minus and then in parentheses or quotes, I think it's quotations actually, you want to put like pegs, and you want to do another one minus, and then in quotes you want to put stand, and you want to do another one for accessories or clothes, things like that, to reduce the clutter in your results, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of doll clothes and accessories. You're going to get a lot of heads, like NECA heads, interchangeable heads. You might not be looking for that. You can also put minus head, but that's dangerous because then you're going to be missing out on action figures that say figure plus extra heads or whatever. So, that one's a little fishy. I do not recommend setting a filter to eliminate a whole toy line, even if you're not looking for toys in that toy line. So, for example, if you own all the Star Wars toys you want, I do not recommend putting minus and in parentheses Star Wars. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of action figure sellers will put like a bunch of different toy lines, the popular ones, TMNT, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, etc., in the listing just to gain the search results. So you're going to end up losing out on action figures you might be looking for by filtering that out. Another thing I recommend doing is intentionally misspelling some of your words. The reason why I suggest this is because some sellers will do this on accident. They'll misspell it either unintentionally or they just don't know how it's spelled. So this is a case where you can find things just look at swapping letters, that are next to the key on the keyboard that are similar. Don't go crazy with it, but just experiment. And also try search terms like space soldier or space marine or things like that. Not necessarily just specific like Star Wars or Halo or whatever, because that'll open the door for things that you might not knew you were looking for. Now, if you want to filter out knockoffs, there isn't a good way to do it because not every seller is going to be honest and tell you that the toy they're selling is a knockoff. So I do not recommend filtering out the word knockoff, excuse me, or KO. And the reason why I say that is because the letters K and O could end up being used in a word, in the title of a or anywhere in the listing, and you might end up accidentally filtering out a listing you were looking for because you filtered out those two letters because the algorithm's not that smart. The filters aren't that sophisticated. Another tip I have is definitely, I've already mentioned it in the filters, but set the price point. But when you're setting the price point, be sure to set the minimum price as well. So if you know you're looking for like figures that you assume are going to be in the $18 to $24 range, set the minimum to 16 and the maximum to 28. Just a couple below and a couple above what you're looking for. The reason why I say that is because some sellers they want to be competitive, so they undercut their competition. Also, you want to set the minimum because that will filter out pegs and O-rings and random accessories and repair parts and bits and pieces and shit that you're probably not looking for. And set the maximum so that spend and you're not going to get flooded with auctions or listings that are outside your price range that are unobtainable. So those are my eBay tips. Let me know if you have any eBay tips that I didn't think of. All right. So this one is going to be not very long, but I just wanted to touch on. This is just my thoughts on generic soldier toys. Now, I'm not talking about the little mini plastic figs that have the little stand on their feet, the little like almost rubbery minifigures. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about action figures that are US soldiers or UN soldiers, etc., that don't that aren't associated or affiliated with a name brand. So these would be like, these would be like dollar store soldiers or things. They look like GI Joes. You could argue that they're knockoffs, but you also have like Chat May and Lannard the Corps and a few others that aren't necessarily knockoffs, but they're, in my opinion, inferior to GI Joe. But they're pretty generic, which is the reason I don't like them. The one thing I like about GI Joe, especially A Real American Hero, is the diversity in the cast of characters. It's sort of like 80s WWF wrestling where you have like really wild cartoony characters. So for me personally, I want my soldiers to have personality. So I'll buy colorful Fortnite action figures or Space Marines from like Alien or Aliens franchise, Predator, Alien versus Predator, maybe Call of Duty, Halo, things like that. But I'm not going to buy just generic soldiers because I'm not interested in that. So this is going to be another topic that won't be very long. the show isn't going to be too long, but I never really put a time frame on them. But I just want to go over a couple of points about the difference between action figures and figurines. Now, I have had to politely correct a couple of eBay sellers who were selling figurines as action figures, and they argued with me because their logic is all plastic toys are action figures, which is false. And another one told me that all superhero toys are action figures, which is also false. Because this seller thought that action figure meant that you fight, that the toys fight. Like that's the action, they fight. That is not where the word action comes from in action figure. It comes from articulation. Action figures, bare minimum, should have 4 to 5 points of articulation. The head should turn left and right. The arms should extend and the legs should kick. That's bare fucking minimum. Figurines can be sculpted and look like action figures. A lot of times they are in a molded pose. They cannot move. They do not come with interchangeable weapons or accessories or costumes, whatever. Those are figurines. Now, figurines come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Funko Pop vinyl figures are figurines, not action figures. But as long as you have, I would say two or more points of articulation, you can get away with calling it an action figure. The reason why I put it at 2 or more is because I buy a lot of Toonie Terrors, and a lot of those, maybe the head turns and maybe the arms move, but that's it. You don't get anything out of the legs. No waste. But I still consider those action figures. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the dipshits who try to sell those plastic soldier figurines as action figures. Those guys are idiots, and I hate them. Also, there are assholes out there who sell Hot Wheels under the action figure listings on eBay, and those people need to be punched in the face because Hot Wheels are not fucking action figures, and that really pisses me off. So that's all I have to say about that. Those are my thoughts on the difference between figures and figurines. Next is why I'm giving up on Funko Pops. I got into Funko Pops with the understanding that if I wasn't careful, I would become addicted to Pops and buy like hundreds of them, which is what happens to a lot of Pop collectors. I also went into it knowing I was not going to keep them in the packaging. I was going to open them up and put them on the bookshelf with my other toys, the toy shelf, and display them as loose action figures or figurines in this case. I also had a very narrow definition of what I was looking for, and I stuck to that. I'm not going to go so far as to say I currently own every Pop I'll ever own or want to own, but I am satisfied with my Funko Pop collection as it stands. I have about 30 or so figurines, and none of them are in the packaging. I open them up as soon as I get them home. I don't even save those for unboxing videos because they're not worth it to me. They're not on the level. Because I don't consider them action figures, really. So, I might pick up another 15 or so Pops from what I've seen from at the collections. Random here or there. But I don't want a massive Pop collection. And I'm putting a hard limit. My max is 50 Pops. I will never own more than 50 Funko Pops. That's my hard limit. All right. That's the episode. Stay cool. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all again on Thursday, which will be this week's current episode. All right. Bye.